Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking to you about whether or not money can or cannot buy happiness, okay? So to start, I have this dollar bill here, right? This is real money. This is currency. This can be used to buy anything, right? Within reason. Explain to me how you feel if I ripped it. Now it's nothing. You can't buy anything with this now. Angry, upset, right? That's how you guys feel is you don't know how to feel, and like you could use that money to benefit yourself. But imagine being able to be content with, okay, yeah, I lost that money, but I'll get more. There'll be more that's come. My point here is that money's not everything, and if you lost some, or if you were in a really bad spot and you didn't have as much as you thought you wanted, there's always more to come. It's always going to get better, right? Okay. So for another example, we're going to be going into, let's say, Christmas time. During Christmas, it's not all about buying the presents and spending all this money to make sure people are happy. It's more about building a connection and building that relationship with your family that really makes Christmas why it's so big today, you know. Without that connection and that relationship, there wouldn't be Christmas wouldn't be as good as it is. It wouldn't be everybody's favorite holiday, right? Okay. So after reading The Culture of Money by Dion Dre Sattler, and from my personal experience, I'm going to explain to you today on why or why not I do not think money can buy happiness. Okay. If you were to say that getting money is the most important thing, you'll spend your life completely wasting your time. You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living. That is to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid. That's a quote from Alan Watts, right? And I really like this quote because he's explaining exactly why money is not the pure peak of happiness, right? You're going to have a lot more things than just money to be happy. Relationships, and you're going to have to build those, and it's going to take a lot more than just money to do that. So consider money for amenities, right? The importance of money. What is the importance of currency, you might ask? It's everything, right? You have to have currency to live. You have to have currency to thrive off everything around you and to keep it going. How does it affect today's society? Well, without money, you can't do much of anything. You can't go to school or get your responsibilities done. That's why needing a job is so important. But eventually, once you start spending all this money and you start getting it back, and you get into this cycle, there's a cycle that is unbreakable by so many people, right? Which makes life very miserable without money. It's very hard to live without currency coming in your pockets, and but still, it's not everything. You cannot buy happiness with money. Once you start getting all this money and you try to just keep buying things that make you happy temporarily, that happiness is going to fade, and you're going to end up having to find another fix for your happiness. The influence. How does money influence how we act, right? It's such a, nowadays, it's such a, you have to have it, that people are going to do a lot for it. They're going to have a lot of sacrifice for money. They're going to give up a lot of things that they don't know exactly what they're giving up yet, and that's not a good thing. Is being money or is being successful luck, or is it skill? Well, I guess it just depends on how you got successful, right? I was reading a quote by Claire Wilson, and that's around how money is involved in the world. She says that over 50% of the population wants a big lump sum of money in their life. Most end up being broke shortly after. Why is that, right? Why do most people end up being broke shortly after they get this huge lump sum of money, right? Because they're not used to having that much money. They're not used to being able to spend all this and buy a new car and buy a new house, and then it's all gone. And then they're not happy anymore. So they have to find that fix for that money. So I think being able to manage your money, manage your amenities, and your credentials, if you are able to do all that, and build your relationships with people, it's going to be a lot easier than just trying to spend enough money to be happy, right? Life is all about balance between what is happening and what could happen. Finding that balance is key. Now, I've been talking a lot about money for amenities and what's necessary. That could be food, gas, water, bills, right? You have to have shelter, you have to have life to live. Having millions of dollars isn't necessary for happiness, though. I know plenty of people who have just a couple $1,000s to the name, and they're okay with that. They're content. They live the American dream. And that's good. That's good for them. How do you manage money and amenities, or how do you manage amenities and family efficiently? Well, by doing this, it's managing your money, your amenities, and your family is going to be one of the other driving factors to maintaining your mental state in a good capacity and maintaining your happiness. Belinda Luscoma mentions that the average debt age for Americans to acquire is 25 to 30 years old. Now, I'm sure you can see how that is troubling, right? Most 25-year-olds are just hitting their prime. They're just hitting their peak of what they can achieve in life, right? And it goes up from there, of course. But that's the age where they should be taking most of the opportunities that the doors have opened for them. That's the age where not everyone has as much success. So for my second argument, I have, why are rich people often so miserable? Rich people are often miserable because they do things that they don't enjoy, right? They, without opportunities to maintain happiness, the human brain switches to work mode all the time. Now imagine being in work mode 24/7, you never got to relax. That's what most rich people or the higher classing citizens have to go through. Always being in a work mood is a horrible state to live in. On the SEC database, ESBCO host, Robert Kaiser mentions that the rich mentality is often clouded by money. Think about that. The rich mentality is often clouded by money. Always considering money makes you lose track of your relationships, your friends, your future, what you want for yourself. All these things that you need, as well as, which are almost like mental amenities instead of physical. Mental amenities are just as important as physical amenities are. All in all, trying to stay content with where you are in life is the most important activity to be focused on. Always trying to achieve that American dream, always trying to get to where you're happy, content with life. That's where everyone should be. To move on to the conclusion, what we have here is, why is it important to keep improving? To keep changing. No, there's nothing wrong with change. Change is just a new opportunity to better yourself. To finalize my point, money isn't everything. Unless you don't have any. Think about that. If you don't have any, money becomes a huge priority of yours. It surrounds your life, and it's not a good position to be in as either. But at that point, I almost would argue that money is almost everything.